Hey everybody, welcome to another Fwoosh video review. This time we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Darth Vader figure. The main man himself is finally out and hitting store shelves and pegs as we speak. I was lucky and found mine this evening at a Walgreens store of all places. So sit tight while we get this guy freed from his packaging here, and we're going to take a look and see what Darth Vader has to offer. Sit tight. Here he is, 6-inch Darth Vader, finally after all this time. Now, VB has already done a very excellent and very thorough review of this figure on the main site, so I'm just going to be hitting on some of the bullet points here. Now, one difference between VB and myself is, while VB isn't the biggest fan in the world of soft goods, I kinda am. I've been a 3A collector for several years now, and I'm totally on board with soft goods. I love seeing them incorporated with 6-inch figures. But that is to say, I love to see it when it's done well. And Vader here is kind of a mixed bag in the soft goods department. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it looks, when I look at him just like this, just like kind of like in a vanilla pose like this, I think he looks pretty good. I don't think he looks bad at all. I think it does him justice. But, I mean, some of the cloth, it's just so, there's not a lot of detail there. It just seems like big pieces of fabric. Like, if we take a look at his kind of, I don't know what to call it, but his skirt, for example, which goes down like his legs here from his belt, it's just kind of just one long black kind of not detailed lump of plastic, or a fabric rather. And it actually begins up here where his like silver shoulder pads kind of start. So that looks a little strange too. I mean, there's a lot of great intricate detail in his arms and in his chest, and everything that's plastic is sculpted pretty darn well here. But then, like, I'm not really sure what the soft goods are really adding to it, adding to the sculpt. In fact, it may be kind of detracting from it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I think the soft goods on this Darth Vader figure is going to be kind of like a line in the sand for a lot of collectors. A lot of people are going to hate it, and then there's going to be people like myself who really want to like it, but maybe I'm going a little bit easy on it just because I want to like it. I don't know. I literally just opened this guy up 5 seconds ago, so I think this is going to have to sit on my shelf a little bit while I actually really formulate a firm opinion here. Right now, like I said, what's going on with this? The corners of his cape have some kind of business going on here. Maybe that's to make it drape more naturally. Maybe it's like a weight or something. Both sides have it. That's kind of interesting. I bet it is there to make sure the cape drapes in some kind of natural fashion. And it is a very long cape at that. I mean, look at the way it hangs down and wraps around his body. Again, I mean, I like it, but given how detailed the rest of his actual sculpt is, I'm a little iffy with it, even though, like, I really want to like it. So, well, let's take a close-up look of his helmet here. Let's get a look at that famous Darth Vader mug. His eyes look to be almost like a chocolatey brown. I think they were going for a red, and honestly, in person, they look a little bit more red than they do on camera. So that's a little bit interesting. I love the chain down around his neck that holds the cape in place, even though it really kind of doesn't. It's actually kind of tied into his shoulder pads. So the cape really isn't easily removed, it looks like, and I'm not going to mess with that. I don't know what kind of nightmare that's going to be to fix if it gets messed up, and I really don't want to deal with trying to find another Darth Vader if I ruin this one. I imagine this guy's going to be tough to find, maybe as tough as Boba Fett has been. Now, his helmet, of course, does come off. It's 2 pieces. Let's see here. I'm trying to take just the top portion off. There we go. So that can be removed. And that leaves us with the main part of his mask on there and intact. And there is some nice detail on there too. I think they did a nice job with this. It doesn't wrap around his head fully. There's, the pale white dead head sculpt already protruding from the back. Let's see if I can get him standing again. Come on, Vader, you were standing. Okay. And then the remaining portion of the mask comes off rather easily to reveal his kind of sickly, what's left of his human form face. And I like it. I think they did a good job here. Again, this is pretty much the first time I'm seeing it too. There's a lot of nice subtle tones in the paint apps here. And I like the look on his face. It's just, they did a good job of capturing the sickly, desperate kind of look that shocked and horrified us all the first time he took that mask off on camera. So I think they did a good job there. And if we pan down a little bit, we see some of the nice details on his little control panel thing and around his belt. And I like the silver that extends down each of his, I'm calling it shoulder pads. I don't know what the preferred nomenclature is, but I'm calling them shoulder pads. So overall, I mean, all the negative remarks and all the bad stuff that I've heard about this figure, I was expecting to not like him. I thought, I'll get him if I find him, and then I'll probably, get the Mafex or Mafex or whatever you call it, that fancy, really expensive one that's coming out. I just figured that would probably be my default Darth Vader. But I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by this guy just because my expectations were reduced so low. I'm pretty stoked on this. I'm glad I have him. I haven't tested out much of his articulation yet because, again, I just opened him. But it looks like he's got most of the standard articulation here. And I'm pretty sure VB went over that in depth and at length in the written article. So, again, this is Darth Vader from the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch line. Now let's get some size comparisons here. So, okay, there's some context. He does dwarf Luke nicely. They actually look pretty cool together. I like that. Now, VB was saying that this is more or less Darth Vader as he was depicted in Return of the Jedi at the end when, his mask is removed. But they gave him that hand, that reaching hand, that I am your father hand. Which, I'm I'm kind of glad they did, because I figure, let's be honest, we don't know how long any particular toy line is going to survive for. So if this ends up being the only Darth Vader we ever get, at least it's hitting on a few notes here. We get the removable mask from Jedi and the I am your father hand from Empire Strikes Back. And I'm actually okay with it being an amalgam of Darth Vaders from two different movies. It doesn't really bother me. I'm not a strict, has to be 100% movie accurate guy. I actually give a lot of leeway for stuff like this. So I think now that I've had him out of the package and I've been tinkering with him a little bit, I think this guy might actually meet most of my Darth Vader needs for a 6-inch figure. The skirt could be better. That's my only real nit here. The skirt I'm not thrilled with. And that's coming from someone who is, someone who is a fan of soft goods. That's the only real bugaboo here. Otherwise, I think this is a pretty solid offering Hasbro's given us for a 6-inch Vader figure. But again, that could just be because I'm kind of super easy to please when it comes to stuff like this. So, we're going to have to leave it up to you. What do you think? Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about this figure. This is going to be a hotly debated figure, probably the most debated figure this year. So leave a comment below. Subscribe to us here at the Fwoosh. And as always, thank you for checking us out, and we will see you very soon.